Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. I hope you all have an amazing day. We're starting off with the black pieces against a 1795 from Turkey. E5. Let's go ahead with the modern. You know what we could do? We could do something very, very fun here. Yeah, knight f6 here is somewhat so stupid. Never play this. It's stupid. Magnus Carlsen will play this because, I mean, he can do what he wants. But this is called the Norwegian rat. And it starts off with e4, g6, d4, knight f6. And to be honest, I don't know any theory past this point. I think you go knight h5. Maybe with a d6 at some point. But this is going to get absolutely wild. And this looks, visually it looks terrible. It looks like you've given them the center. Like, there's no debate about it. They have the center. And they're just fine. Like, you've moved your knight twice. You've got, I guess, an open diagonal for your bishop. Not even though it's just staring at a pawn chain. It's just terrible. Although, if you play it right, it can be very, very interesting. And you can get actually a fair few chances as black, I believe. But it just visually, it's awful. And you can see we've completely shocked this player here. They've spent a fair amount of time thinking about what to do because it's just awful. But yeah, I mean, give it a try. This is the move, actually. This is the very interesting move. Bishop e2. Looking to trade and win a pawn. And here we just got d6, I believe. And this is a bit of a gambit, but super, super interesting. The whole point is that you're opening lines. They can take this. Okay, we take the pawn, I believe. And we move the rook to g6. If they take this, I think that's just bad after like a knight c6. It's just an over-committed pawn. They're going down, I think, what's the main line? Rook g8. And we're going after this pawn. We're going to get a knight to c6. And we're going to go take the pawn straight back, basically. That's the whole plan. We take the pawn straight back and we're very developed. Very, very developed. There, I think g3 might be the main move. Then again, I think maybe like something stupid like queen e4, queen e3 works. As well. Bishop there. Oh, I should know this as well. Yeah, that's one of the trickier moves, I believe. I don't think you take the g-pawn. I think you actually sacrifice another pawn. Is it a knight c6? You let them take, and you just take this. Let's go for it. This could get real crazy, and we're probably going to lose this, to be honest. But it is going to be fun while we do. It's going to be very fun. I think bishop g7 was also a move. I think we ignore this and just take the pawn as well. They have no light squared bishop, so we're happy making all these light squared holes. White can't really like infiltrate on the light squares the way they wish they could. They have to actually be very careful because there is potential mates going on here. Especially if we can like take this pawn with a check, get a check on this. It's looking potentially scary. So we're going to take the queen if they trade. They're probably going to have to go knight a3, but then maybe like a bishop e5 could work. Very interesting idea. But I don't think that tactically works because they cover this b pawn with their bishop, so we're not getting that. We could also just take the pawn, is an option. And they are spending an awful lot of time, yeah. So we're going to take the queen, obviously, our only legal move, I believe, and then go knight there. Cool. So we could go ahead and take. I'm worried about long castles. So maybe we stop castles. How do we go about stopping castles? Bishop g4 could work. Pawn push. Bishop f5, castles. Bishop takes doesn't work. I really want e5 to work. Maybe it does work. Takes. E5. Bishop takes. Nah, I don't think that does. I believe there is something here. I believe there is. That's the annoying part. Castles is just such a devastating move, though. Do we take the pawn? That's talk about a stupid move, right? Take the pawn? No, we can't. We can't morally take that pawn. Takes. Bishop takes. Check. Knight blocks. It just doesn't work. Wait. No, it does work. E5. Bishop takes. Takes. There. Check. Pawn up. Yeah, it doesn't work. There's no way that works. I think we've got ourselves into a bit of a pickle here, folks. The castles is just horrible. We could go f6, look for e5 that way, but castles c3 is devastating. I think we've really messed this up. This game. Ooh. See, this is why you need to actually study things. Study openings. A bishop d7 could potentially work. Bishop d7 castles. 96. Rook c8. We'll go with that. It looks interesting, I guess. We spent almost 3 minutes on that one move. So we definitely equalized the time a bit. They still have this g-pawn hanging, so potentially, like, we're fine. Question mark. Potentially we're fine. They moved this bishop to protect it as well. We have some checks. With, like, a c8 idea. Could work. I'm not going to say it works. I'm not going to go be that bold and say that it definitely works. But, I mean, we have ideas, right? We have ideas, 100%. 100%. There is also potentially ideas of rook takes with a fork. Which wins us a pawn back, I guess. With the bishop pair. I think that's one of the big players of this opening is the bishop pair. So we got to try and make the most of that. But yeah, bishop f4 is definitely one of the more critical moves, I think. And I definitely do, I think, have this written down somewhere. Yeah, so rook castles is a great move, I believe. So we'll go rook e6. Knight e6. I don't know my pieces. We'll look for the check. We'll look for a rook c8. Not that we can actually do anything with that, but this is giving us a tempo on the bishop, so it saves our knight, and we're still hitting the g2 pawn. If they move back, though, check. They actually have f4 as an idea. No, we can just take. So they go that way. We'll throw in the check. And we'll just take the g-pawn. Bravo, bellissimo, we've equalized. That's just what we needed, right? That's just what we needed. Our king's scared. Our king's very scared. Potentially we have a king e8, bishop c6 idea. Hitting this this rook. Because you've got to save this f pawn somehow. You go that way. You trying to trap my rook? Surely not. King e8, bishop c6. Knight there could be interesting. I don't think that does much, though. I can't believe we moved the king to d8 just to move it back to e8 as well. So we'll put the bishop on this. We've got strong bishops, to be fair. We do have very strong bishops. I'm proud of these bishops. With the idea of potentially rook takes bishop, I don't think that's right. That can't be right. We lose this h-pawn. This is where creativity comes in helpful. You just got to imagine stuff and go for it. This knight coming to potentially e5 could be annoying. e5, bishop e4. Bishop e4, rook c8. Go for it that way. Knight's still there though. I'm worried about it hitting this knight somewhere, somehow. But then we just take the bishop. No, we just take the pawn. No, we take the bishop. We've got to take the bishop, right? We could sack the exchange to keep the bishop pair on the board. That's an idea. Yeah, so they go there. I think probably a knight h4 is slightly better. So go bishop e4, I guess. I don't know where this knight's going. That's my problem. I don't know where this rook's going because this rook's boxed in. Unless we got like a bishop f4, but then we're losing like the thing we're fighting for. We're losing the bishop pair. I don't know. Basically, all this is just to say I have no clue. This is a wild position. It's not something you come across particularly frequently. But we are significantly ahead on time, so I hope that will benefit us somehow. Ooh, rook e1's a cool move. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to have to go bishop f5. I don't like the idea of bishop f5. I don't like it one bit. It's a rotten idea. Yeah. I don't know. I have no clue. Rook d8? Trade off one of the rooks? No, we lose this f-pawn. It's got to be rook c8. Bishop f4. Knight takes. Bishop takes, knight takes. I don't want to lose the bishop pair. Potentially knight h5 actually if they don't take. Knight h5 kicks the bishop. Which would be super, super nice for us. If we can get bishop pair versus two knights, that would be huge. Very, very huge. Because realistically, like, they can get to d7, I guess. But that's not particularly doing much for you. Ooh, that's got to be a big mistake, right? That's got to be a huge mistake. Rook c8 here. You're no longer covering the c-pawn. That's got to be a huge mistake. Push a4. A6, sorry. Even a rook c5 here works, potentially. Oh, you got a knight there. Interesting. Now continue with our plan. Continue with our plan, question mark. Of knight h5. Ooh, knight h5, bishop h4 is hitting the e-pawn somehow. Wow, but then we just take h2 and you don't actually have any moves to deal with it. Wild stuff. Very wild stuff. This computer evaluation is going to be mental. I'm telling you now, it's going to be. I've used the word roller coaster before to describe the evaluation bar, but this is going to be more like a mountain range. You know, it's just up, down, like mating free, -2, whatever. I have no clue, to be honest. That's a cool move. I think here we just take the bishop after knight h4. I think we just take the bishop and we play the exchange. I think that could be a play, you know. It could very much be a play. I think we go for it. They take our bishops and blunder. They got to take our... What is it? What's it called again? What's the piece called? The tower? The rook, I guess? Ay. Ooh, they go for that. What? Are you not just going down a pawn here? I guess you'd get rid of my bishop pair. This is good for us, right? G4's an idea. Right there surely does not work. E6. Threatening to take. Actually, I'm not threatening to take. That's an interesting move. In fact, here, I think I'll just go F2. Rook F2. How do you cover this pawn? I have Bishop G7 as well. Whoa, what? Whoa, come on, behave. Behave, my friend. What? Why? What are you threatening? If that's a move, then I'm so confused. I just take now? You know, I always say if you can't figure it out, then well played. You know, if there is genuinely something there, then just well played. That's my philosophy. Rook B4 now? Just wins now? Bishop G7, threatening to win the knight. Oh, you go there? That's interesting. Still Bishop G7? They resign. Why have you resigned? You just can't be bothered? Low on time? I can't rematch you, unfortunately. We only have time for one game. Got a match to go to tonight, so unfortunately no time for a rematch. Let's see this roller coaster. I'm very excited. I am very, very excited. 88.2 is better than I thought it was, to be honest. 2300 apparently versus a 1900. I'm surprisingly happy with that. You know, that's very nice. They were definitely better at some point. But after that rook quote-unquote exchange. So this is the opening. Oh, that is not the opening. That's the end. Knight F6 here. So this is Norwegian. And the computer's saying this is +1 already for white. But it turns out very hard to actually play. So this is probably what you're going to see. The other line is potentially like a Knight C3. F4 is an interesting idea. You go back to G7. Knight G7 here. And you just try to stick it on F5. You play a H5. And you try get this little sort of diagonal here. Say we shuffle a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Yeah, something like that. You want this sort of triangle, I think, is a very solid structure for black. And you can work this knight in as well to get a secondary knight on this square. And it's just very nice. You get a nice position out of it, basically. But anyway, they go to take. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. And here, like, you play G3, like, Knight C6, and this is already completely winning. This is minus 2.7 here, and this is a very, like, quote-unquote obvious move, you know? I mean, it's defending the pawn. Like, why would you not want to defend your pawn? But I think I said Queen E4's a move. Apparently that's the best move. I'm not particularly sure on the follow-up here. I need to rewatch and restudy. And Knight C6 is actually the move. Wow. Yeah, so Bishop F4 is a very, very interesting move. And it's something you need to study if you are going to play this and mess around with this. Which I would recommend. Like, it's very good for getting, like, learning how to play actively, you know, which I'm a big advocate for, is learning how to play actively. So Knight C6 here. You can trade off the queen. Apparently Queen D5 here is the better move. But yeah, so this is minus 1.3, even though you're down 2 pawns. This is minus 2.3, which is wild. We'll see the best move and see the ideas behind it. Knight e2. Oh, so you're just going after the G pawn again. Which makes a lot of sense, actually. Because, again, like, it seems scary with this, but realistically, your king's perfectly safe, which is absolutely wild. You're threatening to take this D pawn. You're threatening, like, an e5, potentially. You're threatening either rook takes or queen takes. And you're very active. We went ahead with knight takes, looking for the fork, which is still doing stuff, but it goes into a more, as we saw, a more boring position. They have to play knight a3, if I know my letters. Apparently bishop d7 is the move again. Very happy about that. Castles. Knight e6 is good, but apparently knight f5 is better. I'm not sure why. Not sure why. Maybe the computer just likes it 50 moves in the future. I'm not sure. Bishop e5. I didn't like. I thought bishop g3 was the move. I don't know the follow-up. Maybe a check. King e8. Oh, so you're just freeing up your bishop. So you just do that sooner. Fair enough. Then we check. Throw in the check. Take the pawn. That's a great move. I really like that. And this is dead equal. 0-0s. Well, 0-0... 0.01, so I guess I'm not sure how the computer determines the 0.1 or 0.01. Who knows? This is a great move, trapping the rook, but I get like I get constant threats on these pawns, so you can't actually move the bishop. The bishop's still doing a lot on this square, don't get me wrong. And I can potentially kick it out like we saw on h5, or a bishop f4 as well. Knight f3 is cool. Yeah, we did the right thing. And then a bishop e4 here as well, doing the right thing. To be fair, there's not many other moves you can go to. Whoa, what? What? Rook d8's the move here? Does that not just hang a piece? Because you've got rook g1. Oh, wow. Rook g1. Wow. Holy moly. Rook d8 is such a beautiful idea. So it looks like you're just hanging a piece after rook takes, king takes, rook takes bishop. But then this rook that's been up here the whole game goes to g1, and it's actually just a back rank mate. They can block, but you just take. And it's a back rank mate, which is absolutely wild. Knight b5 seemed like a weird move. I mean, I guess you're getting your knight active, but it's doing such a good job controlling this c square. And this is minus 0.9 here, so slightly better for black. We did the right thing pressuring, and then the knight actually finds a pretty cool home on c3. We got this the wrong way around. Apparently bishop f5, f4 is better. We went with the knight, losing our advantage. And this is a blunder, apparently. Knight f3. We blunder with knight h5. The reason we blunder is because of knight h4, takes. Apparently the computer just likes this. This must be where they get their little bit in the roller coaster. Apparently the better move is bishop g4. Oh, because you're pinning the knight to the rook, which makes a whole lot of sense. So you can go knight h4, but then I take that. Again, the little back rank threats, I guess. I'm not particularly sure how this one works, but I guess maybe you're just trading off. Then you sack the exchange, which is wild. No, that's not even sacking the exchange. Is it? No, you're sacking a... What are you sacking here? This is equal. So did you win the exchange at some point? Oh yeah, you did. They moved their knight. Yeah, so you won the exchange and then you give it back. Fair enough. Knight h5. Yeah, we did this, and then they decided to take with the pawn, which is just better for me, I think. There's no reason why you can't take the rook with the knight. We get the pawn, do that. Knight e5 doesn't seem right. You know, I get the immediate pressure back on the c. C square. Apparently bishop g5 is a better move. I'm not sure. We did this, and then they just blunder another pawn. I'm not sure why. To be honest, I'm not sure why they even thought this was a valid move. It's just losing a pawn with significant pressure on your king. I just take it, call the bluff, and then resigns here. I'm not sure why they resigned here rather than anywhere else. I don't know, to be honest. No clue. But it was a very, very cool game. The Norwegian rat. If you ever want to throw anyone off, if you ever want to play something stupid for the sake of playing something stupid, give it a go. But remember, Queen D5 is the move in this situation. To say it's a very, very critical position as well with Bishop F4. So just remember Queen D5. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.